Everyone loves talking about the Pixel camera, and yeah, it's great. But you know what? That's not the main reason I continue to use a Pixel. The real magic of the Pixel is in the small, smart features you don't see much in commercials. The ones that, once you use them, you genuinely can't imagine living without them. For those of you who don't know, I'm Scott, I'm a Pixel guy, and I want to share 5 Pixel exclusive features that keep me from switching to anything else, starting with one of the most important of all, the calling features. So, nobody likes to talk on the phone, right? Well, I take that back. Nobody wants to talk on the phone when the person on the other end isn't a family member or a friend. Google has a whole suite of features that are all exclusive to Pixel phones that make needless phone calls a thing of the past. First, there's Call Screen, which has been a lifesaver for me. Essentially, Call Screen solves the annoying problem of a call coming in and you having no idea who it is. On most phones, you have 2 options. Let it go to voicemail and see who it is after they've hung up, or answer it and risk getting trapped in a telemarketing call, or even worse, a straight up scam. With Pixels and Call Screen though, you let AI do the talking. Google's AI system will answer the phone for you and have a live chat with the person on the other end. You can watch a transcript live as the conversation progresses. If you deduce that it's a call you should take, you can just pick up the phone. You can also just wait, and Call Assist will ping you if it thinks it's someone you should answer. Either way, you never need to pick up the phone again if you're not 100% sure who's calling. As someone who deeply hates talking on the phone with pretty much anyone, I can't imagine life without Call Screen. There are other features related to calls that are Pixel exclusives too. Hold for me is a good one, which does just what it sounds like. When you're placed on hold for whatever reason, just tap the Hold for Me button and the hold music will automatically mute. Once a real live human comes back on the line, your phone will ring and vibrate to alert you. Then you can jump back into the call. I use this all the time, and it's so nice not to hear that hold music song over and over again. You know the one. It just keeps going and never stops. And finally, there's Call Notes. This automatically records your calls, creates a text transcript of the conversation, and even provides a brief AI-generated summary of the chat. When the call begins, the person on the other end is alerted that the call is being recorded, so you're not violating any privacy rights. This has been a lifesaver when I'm chatting with brands about upcoming products, as I don't need to feverishly type notes while I'm chatting. I can just relax and then consult the transcript afterward. It's also helpful when you're having chats with doctors or banks or other types of chats where you are getting a lot of information and need to remember it all. The basic gist here is that phone calls on a Pixel are unlike phone calls on literally any other phone. iPhones, Galaxy phones, none of them can do the things that Pixels can do, and these make a huge difference in my life. The one major downside to all these features is that not all of them are available outside the United States. Many of them are, but the only place where all of them exist is here, and that's unfortunate for people who live in other countries. Honestly though, while I love these calling features, I don't use them nearly as much as I do this next feature, which is advanced voice typing. So, I know what you're thinking. All phones have voice typing. That's true, but none of them are as good as what you'll get with a Pixel because other phones simply don't have these features. They make typing with your voice much faster, much more accurate, and more feature-rich than any other phone. To prove this, let's compare the Pixel 10 Pro to the Galaxy S25 Ultra. Both phones have the same keyboard app, Gboard, but the Pixel has advanced voice typing and the Galaxy does not. Now, I'll say a very simple message to both phones. Hi everyone, my name is Scott and I am using advanced voice typing. Isn't it awesome? In love face emoji. So note that the Pixel added proper punctuation and capitalization. Also, it knows what in love face emoji means, whereas the Galaxy phone just wrote out what I said, which is of course silly. The Pixel also understands basic commands through voice. For example, I could dictate a message and then send it with my voice just by saying send it at the end. Check this out. Can you please pick up cat food on your way home? Send it. There are other commands too, such as shorten it. This is good for when you've dictated a long, sprawling voice message with all sorts of errors. Just say shorten it when you're finished, and Gemini will take what you said, rewrite it, fix up the grammar, and then you can send it off. If you don't like the idea of AI rewriting your messages, which is fine, you can also change things as you go. This is great when you're in the car or somewhere else where touching your phone isn't going to work. Check out this example. I can't believe Thanksgiving is right around the corner. Change Thanksgiving to your favorite holiday. This doesn't even scratch the surface of all the things you can do with advanced voice typing on a Pixel. In fact, I feel like maybe I should make an entire video that just goes over everything available with this feature. If you think that's a good idea, jump down in the comments and let me know. The important thing here is that these features are only available on Pixels, and I could never, ever give them up. Also, if this is your first time visiting my channel, thanks so much for being here. I spend a lot of time in the comments, so feel free to speak your mind there. And if you want to chat with me and other tech fans even more, I have a Discord for that now. The link for that is in the description. Let's move on to the next thing on this list, which is actually the newest, which is Pixel Screenshots. When Google first announced this feature, I'll admit that I was a bit skeptical about it. I didn't really think screenshots needed their own app, and to cram AI into it seemed silly, at least at the time. However, I was very wrong. The Pixel Screenshots app is now something I use all the time. When you take a screenshot on a Pixel, it doesn't go into Google Photos anymore. Instead, it goes into this standalone app. There, the screenshots are organized by date. You can share them, edit them, or even put little notes on them in case you captured it to remind you of something. But Gemini also scans the screenshots and can help summarize them for you. You can then use this information for searches. For example, if I captured a screenshot of a pair of headphones I want to buy, I can just search for headphones and it will find that screenshot for me. So what do I use this for the most in my actual life? The answer to that is receipts. I travel a lot for work, and when I do, I need to create expense reports with receipts to prove that my purchases were work-related. When I get a receipt emailed or texted to me, I can just grab a screenshot and forget about it. Then, when I'm writing up my report, I can just search for the receipt I'm looking for. What used to be pure chaos that took me an hour to get done is now neatly organized and takes me only a few minutes. If you've got a Pixel and have never used the Screenshots app, I highly recommend checking it out. It's possible that you've taken way more screenshots than you remember, and being able to see them all organized and searchable might make you realize just how powerful of a tool this really is. A lot of these features are all about productivity and making things easier, but none of them have really been about fun. But this next feature is really fun, and it's now playing. This is a feature that listens for music playing around you in the real world and identifies for you right on the lock screen automatically. This has been really helpful for me over the years. Just the other day, I was in a coffee shop and heard the song Joey by Concrete Blonde. I hadn't heard that song in years. It had been so long that I didn't even remember the name or the artist. But a quick glance at my Pixel told me who it was. I didn't need to use an app or even unlock my phone. The info was right there waiting for me. But Now Playing can do so much more than just tell you what's playing at any given time. It also keeps a running list of all the songs it hears. You can check that list anytime you like and favorite the ones that are standout tracks. You can even make a playlist in YouTube Music right from the Now Playing history, or share information about the track with any app or contact. Now, there are lots of apps out there that can do some of these things, and you could certainly use multiple apps to do them all. But having all this built right into the phone without needing any other apps is really helpful for a guy like me who's really into music and always looking to add more to his collection. Oh, and one more thing about Now Playing. If you're worried that Google is sending things off to the cloud and tracking all this info about you, check this out. This is Now Playing working in airplane mode. That's right, the core feature of Now Playing identifying the music around you all happens on device. Pretty crazy, right? And that brings me to the fifth and final Pixel feature that I could never live without, which is Pixel UI itself. The Pixel software is, by far, the number one thing that keeps me locked to Pixels. Even if another phone company were to come along and copy all the features I've talked about so far, I still think I would stick with Pixels just because I love the software so much. Lots of people refer to Pixel UI as stock Android, but it's really not. It looks a lot like stock Android and has a heavy focus on simplicity, smoothness, and keeping things bloat-free. But it has so many more features than stock Android while still, somehow, not seeming overstuffed with too much fluff. This is what I tend to think about other competing Android skins. Samsung's One UI is a big offender here with tons of extra apps I don't need or want, features I'll never use or even know are there, and a look that just doesn't do it for me. OnePlus's Oxygen OS feels like someone crammed iOS and Android together, and it makes me yearn for the old days when Oxygen OS was just like Pixel UI, fast, smooth, bloatware-free, and Android to the core. Even beyond the look and feel of Pixel UI, it's also better for longevity. Every quarter, we get Pixel drops with brand new features. Every month, like clockwork, we get security patches. And Pixels will get all of these things for 7 straight years after you buy one, making a Pixel a great investment for those of you who like to hold on to your smartphone for a very long time. So yeah, when you combine this with all the features I've already mentioned and all the Pixel camera features we all know and love, it's really hard for me to ever imagine not owning a Pixel. Of course, I'm not totally locked in. There are plenty of phones out there that are quite tempting, such as the OnePlus 13 or the Galaxy S25 Ultra. But nothing offers all the things I want and need like a Pixel does. So I suspect I'll be a Pixel guy for quite a long time. But I want to know what you think. Are you also locked into the world of Pixels? Are you curious about Pixels and thinking about switching? Either way, tell me your story in the comments below. Before you head off, why not check out this video up here, where I talk about why even something super powerful and beautiful like the OnePlus 15 still isn't enough to get me to move away from Pixels. And if you haven't liked and subscribed yet, it would make my day if you did. I'll see you all down in the comments.